WCSM's General Store is recorded at 70X7 Studio. WCSM is brought to you by Chad's Express Lube and Car Care Center. Christine Flynn, your local Farmers Insurance agent. For Good Reasons Roofing, your local hometown roofing specialist. And by Sanders Insurance, your local independent insurance experts. And now, WCSM's crew.
Well, good Friday to you. It's the General Store from the 70X7 studio with Bill, Mark, and myself, and Mike and Carter in the producer roles again. Thank you, gentlemen. Good to have you. Give it to us, Carter. Whatever it was Mike said was so funny. So Mike does the hard work. Carter.
Uh-oh.
No,
I don't know if I'd have said that way if I'd been you.
There goes your volume.
Yeah, wait a minute.
There goes your mic.
Carter's going to shut my mic off.
Yeah.
No.
Mute.
No, exactly. Mike, Mike does, he captures all of the audio and video, but Carter does all of the music beds and the levels and all that stuff. So it really is a teamwork. But yeah, Anyway, so that's what I was kind of giggling at when we started.
Both are very instrumental. Also.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? They know a whole lot more than I do about it.
Hey,
so
there you go.
Thanks for joining us today. It's great to have you with us. We'll quickly have Bill take a look at our top fans. Who we got running out in the lead this week?
We got a whole bunch of them. One of them started out with a classmate of mine, Ronnie Deckard. He's on an 11-week streak, as well as Fritzy Phillips, and John Hooker, Danny Todd.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Good old Danny.
Yeah.
Jackie Ratz Evans McGinn. She's still at 11. Another classmate of mine, Danny Chitwood. Robert Lutz, Rena K. Westfall, John Baker, and Bill Babcock.
Yep.
Wow.
That's a classmate of mine, Bill Babcock.
It must be nice. I don't have any classmates listening or following the.
They'll quit school.
That tells you a whole lot. No, right. I did. No. That tells you a whole lot. No, nobody I went to school with likes me.
Oh, no better.
Hey, you know what? That's okay. It used to bother me, but it doesn't bother me anymore. I think I've had that discussion on here recently. No, that's okay.
There's
it's
at least one.
I don't know about that. I'm not sure about that, but that's okay. Because I've got my family and I got you guys. Unless you guys don't like me, I don't know.
We like you.
So we're just coming off of Mother's Day, and thank you for enjoying. On Friday we reran last year's Mother's Day episode because it was a good one, and so we appreciate all of you.
And we have the same mothers.
That's right. That didn't change. But we had just come off of Mother's Day. So did you all enjoy Mother's Day?
Yes.
Did you?
Yep.
Did you do something with
all three boys were together at the church at where my brother preaches at Kentucky Ridge or Greene
really?
County.
So now wait a minute, Aaron.
Yeah.
And so is that where your mother typically attends church as well?
Yeah, he does two churches, so she goes to both services. He does Mansions in Heaven in Bloomfield, and he does Kentucky Ridge in Owensburg area.
So does he teach?
He preaches both places.
On Sunday, every Sunday he goes to both?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so but obviously they're different times then.
Correct. Yeah, I think one's at 10, one's 11 or something, or maybe 9:30 and 11, something like that. Road time.
Well, good for him.
Yep.
You know what? It doesn't surprise me. It is getting increasingly harder and harder to find pastors and ministers to preach.
But we had a good service, and it was very nice, and we went to eat together and had a good time.
Now, was it just you three boys and your mom, or was it like all the families?
Well, Aaron's wife and daughter went with us.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Now, where'd you take your mom?
Bob Evans.
Is that her favorite place to eat, or just where you guys ended up?
Yeah, I mean, she likes it okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. But
now, was that actually on Mother's Day?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So what did you and the kids do for Renata? Did you do something prior to Mother's Day for her? Or
we went out.
Did you do anything for Renata?
For Renata.
Am I about to get you in trouble?
No. No. We went out the night before and ate at a restaurant in Nashville, the Mexican restaurant in Nashville.
Oh, uh-huh.
And then I bought her a planner. I bought my mom a planner and our hanging basket, how you want. Mm-hmm. And so, and she went to church, and then she also went to the cemetery to see her mom.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So do your kids do anything for their mother on their own yet?
Not much.
Yeah. It's
How
fun.
about your kids?
It just
Pretty good?
Just, I mean, they're getting there. So
Yeah, it seems like there's a period of time where they got, and I don't feel comfortable telling them anymore. They need to understand
yeah,
it's time.
for sure. And then
you need to do this on your own.
right. No, I agree.
So yeah,
Yeah.
because I used to always help them, but
Right.
we're 21 and 18. You need to start figuring out you're a mom. You need to appreciate her.
Yes. Yeah. You know she's your mom.
Right. Right.
She has been for 21 and 18 years.
Right.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Very good.
So how'd you do?
I did well, and I'll be honest with you. This is my
Be dishonest.
No. You know better than that. I'm gonna just tell it.
Tell it like it
I'm
is.
gonna go tell it on the mountain.
Yeah.
No. So this was my 22nd Mother's Day.
Wow.
And because Garrett's 22 this year, and
Nice.
I'll be honest with you, every year at Mother's Day, I was always disappointed and felt let down. And I don't get me wrong, I love my husband. This is but Perry has never really cared about birthdays and celebrations and making a big deal out of stuff. But I do. I've always made a big deal out of birthdays. I always made a big deal out of the boys' birthdays. I'm not saying I spent a gazillion dollars on their birthday parties,
Right.
but I always made a big deal about their birthdays or Christmas or whatever. You know what I mean? And so every year I would say, I feel like, nobody is even celebrating me on Mother's Day. And then Father's Day would roll around and I'd make a big deal out of Perry.
Sure.
And then I'd think, okay, the next Mother's Day, this is the one.
This'll be the one.
This will be the one because we've had
So
this
was this
conversation.
the one?
This was finally the one 22 years later.
Hey.
It was awesome. It was
Congratulations.
after 22 years, it was the best Mother's Day. I
That's great.
felt celebrated.
Nice.
I felt loved. I didn't feel invisible. And I think a lot of moms really, this is not, I don't think this is just something that I go with. And you know what, Mom? This is the way it is for moms because we don't do, even though we can get down, even me. I mean, I've gotten kind of down before, feeling like if I died, nobody would care in my household. They wouldn't even miss me. I think we all, but moms, I think that's just how we are. I think we are the invisible superhero, right? We're the ones doing it. We're in the trenches. We're raising our kids and we're doing all the things. And then when Dad does, this would always drive me crazy.
Little thing.
Oh, he's the dad of the year. It's like, wait a minute, hang on. What is going on?
Yeah.
So
Are you the disciplinarian? Were you the disciplinarian in your house?
Yeah, I were.
See, Renata is on ours.
I was all
I'm gonna
things.
admit.
Yeah.
And it makes her so mad because they like you. They like you.
yeah. But you know what? I never did that. That never bothered me. I was always so thankful. And I told the boys this weekend that one of my biggest blessings was
I got news for her, though. They don't like me. And I've told her that.
That's what I told the boys this weekend. I think that one of my biggest blessings, I know one of my biggest blessings is that Perry allowed me to raise the kids.
Yeah.
He didn't argue with me, fight with me on stuff, whatever I decided. I want to send the boys to Lighthouse Christian Academy. He was the one that paid for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he was on board. He trusted me
Yeah.
and my faith and belief, and because my faith has always been stronger than Perry's as far as, in Jesus. But I think Perry wanted that for his boys, that foundation. And so he never kept me from raising the boys, and that has been the biggest blessing for me of all. So even though he didn't maybe celebrate me on Mother's Day, that was still the greatest gift of all. But yeah, it was great. So Saturday, Perry and the boys went up to the Grand Prix race.
Oh, cool.
And left me to my own devices. Well, we have a couple of rental properties, and somebody had paid rent
Uh-oh.
in cash.
Uh-oh. I don't think this is going to go the right direction.
No evidence.
I'm thinking Perry's not going to be as happy about this. I don't know.
And so I just saw it laying on the counter and took it, the whole stack.
Wow.
And so I went, because I was going out to yard sales, and you have to have cash for yard sales. Well, the yard sales just did not produce anything. And I'm sewing now, and I love taking old vintage whether it's quilts or doilies or linens or whatever, And so I decided I was going to drive to Greenwood. And so I went up to an antique mall up there. And then I went to the Trader Baker's in Martinsville. And I spent every dime.
Wow.
All right.
I know, right? But I got some really great stuff, Mike.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
Happy Mother's Day.
And let me say, I was enjoying it so much because I was going through the antique mall, and I knew how much I had. And so, of course, don't get me wrong, I wasn't just, I was still looking at tags.
I don't know. I may be getting you wrong on this one.
Oh, no, don't get me wrong. I was still looking at the tags. I'm still very cheap and frugal. I would not have spent for a particular quilt more than I felt it was worth. But yeah, so I was like, whoa, and I was throwing stuff at the cart. No, there's another linen tablecloth, and there's this and that. And I ended up spending all of it. And so, but then, then the guilt started seeping in. It's like, oh no, I'm going to get home and Perry's going to be mad at me. And so they come home from their race and we're all standing around talking and I don't remember now what brought it up that, Mother's Day then came up. And I was like, oh yeah, by the way, because we're all in a good mood at this point, right? So we're all sharing the stories of the day, and the boys had a good time, and Perry had a good time, and I'm like, oh, and by the way, I might have taken the rent money, and Perry's like, well, that's okay. He's like, it's okay because we didn't have time to get you anything anyway. You know what I mean? And because, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I don't feel so bad then because I spent every dime. And he didn't get mad. I was happy. I enjoyed that day so much, just being able to go buy what I wanted. So that was pretty awesome. So that worked out for both of us.
You were like, I'm glad they didn't give me anything.
Yeah. So I said, that's okay. You and Griffin got me something anyway, because here's what I did. And so he wasn't mad at me and I wasn't mad at him, and it worked out great. So I'm hoping that's kind of the thing every year. Just give me some money and let me go. And then Sunday, we went to church, and of course, both the boys, I'm so blessed. Both the boys still attend church with us as adults, and
nice.
So they went to church with us, and then Perry surprised me by taking me to the Cracker Barrel, and that's one of my favorite places to eat. And so we went to Cracker Barrel.
Did you? You never worked there though, did you?
I did not work at the Barrel, but. Right. Yeah, it was good. I love I don't go to Cracker Barrel for breakfast, though. I go for their fried catfish, and then I get their pinto beans and turnip greens. Oh, and a baked potato. So good. And cornbread. So, yeah, so it was a really, really good Mother's Day. And then when we came home, then my oldest son, Garrett, they all had bought me cards. So I opened the cards, and then Garrett had bought me something, a gift on his own.
Nice.
And he got me, I don't know if you guys have seen these or not. Garrett and I really like to cook together. He loves to cook. And he bought me, they're called gravity grinders or something like that. So salt and pepper grinders. So they grind the salt and the peppercorns. But you turn them upside down, and gravity, they're battery operated. They grind. So it's not like you have to grind it like this. You know what I mean? You just turn them upside down. A lot of the TikTok and Instagram influencers and people who cook, they use them. Oh, okay. And they're really cool. So he got me a set of those for us to cook with. So I loved that gift because that's something that he and I do together.
Nice.
But yeah, it was the best 22 years. I finally got the Mother's Day that I dreamt of. So
well, good for you.
It was good.
We'll get back to Bill.
Yeah, we're gonna take a quick break, and we're gonna find out what Bill and Marianne did for Mother's Day. Coming up after the break.
Farmers Insurance agent Christine Flynn put her experience to work for you. Christine Flynn proudly serves Monroe, Lawrence, and Greene County families and businesses and is ready to review your existing policies or provide a no-obligation quote today. Call Christine Flynn at 812-822-2905 to get smarter about your insurance. Again, that's Christine Flynn at 812-822-2905. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, ba, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Chad's Express Lube and Car Care Center is the place that you need to go to keep your car running in perfect order. On the outside chance your car is not running in perfect order, Chad's has a shop over on State Road 46 in Ellisville that'll give you a free estimate and reasonable rates and get your car back on the road. Now, to keep it that way, you need to hightail it over to Chad's Express Lube and Car Care Center located at 1357 South Liberty Drive. You know exactly where that is. That's just right around the corner from Menards. Now, check this out. Every 7th oil change is free. That's right, absolutely free. I don't think you can get any better than that. Chad's Express Lube and Car Care Center, 1357 South Liberty Drive in Bloomington.
Just want to talk a little bit about our newest sponsor, partner here at the General Store, For Good Reasons Roofing. They're a family-owned company, and they serve South Central Indiana. If you ever needed a good roofing company, you want somebody that you can trust, For Good Reasons is your local source for professional roof replacement, storm damage repair, and gutter installation service. They're founded on 4 simple principles: honesty, integrity, quality, and kindness. When you choose For Good Reasons, you're going to know you're in good hands from start to finish. From their transparent price quotes to their commitment to offering the highest quality products and the after installation that follows. They don't just install and leave. They're going to be back to follow up. For Good Reasons is the professional roofing company you've been looking for and can trust. Give them a call, 812-360-4469, or visit them on the web at forgoodreasons.com. That's the number 4, goodreasons.com, and tell them the crew at the General Store sent you.
All right, welcome back. We're just doing a rehash of Mother's Day, and if you're just joining us, Mark and I have just told our story. You can rewind if you're just joining us. But so, Bill, obviously your mom has passed on, and how long has she been gone now? Is it 3 years?
Yeah,
about 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so. What do you do anything for Marianne, or do you leave it up to the kids?
Oh, if I left it up to the kids, there would be
everybody. Everybody be paying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well done. Well done.
Nice.
So you couldn't hear this, but in our headphones, Mike, our producer, I said, "So what happens, Bill? I mean, does everybody pay?" And Mike said, she'd be stealing rent money. So if you just watch the first segment, you'll know what that means. If you know, you know. That Mike his comedic timing is
very good,
just on point. So good.
That's pretty close to that, though. She starts getting her Mother's Day present about mid-April. Because I tell her just go get flowers, whatever you want. She loves to plant flowers.
Oh, I see.
And of course, by the end of June, they're toast, but that's okay. She has a good time with them at first.
Right.
But she found her a new place this year down at down Noden.
Oh.
Wagler's got a place down there, and they've got some real nice flowers. And,
nice.
Yep. She went down there, and of course, I don't know how many trips to Mays and Lowe's.
Just keep bringing them.
I know.
And every one of them counts towards Mother's Day?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
We've got a $500 Mother's Day present sitting around the house before it's all over with.
There you go.
But no. Of course, I went out and got her a dozen roses. For Saturday night.
Nice.
Didn't want them to die. And then we got up and went to church.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Seen you all there.
Yep.
And
nice.
Yep. And then I took her out for a great dinner. she wanted to play golf. So I bought her a hot dog and a bottle of water.
Nice.
And we had a great time.
Yeah.
Oh.
You guys were living it up.
It was.
I'm telling you what, if Perry could find a place to take me to go get a hot dog and a bag of popcorn like I used to get from the concession stand at
Yeah.
all the boys' games and track meets, I would be in heaven.
There you go.
I would not eat all day just waiting for that popcorn and hot dogs. So that's that's pretty good.
Come down to the clubhouse down there. They've got great
Yeah, hot dogs.
They're great.
Man,
Matlock always liked hot dogs. Remember that?
Oh, no,
The attorney, yeah. He always wanted hot dogs.
I love now. We actually have a one of the kettle actual popcorn machines in our house. You know, the ones where you put it in and it pops like you have in a concession stand.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But what I need to find is a hot dog rotisserie thing to have, and then I can make my own concession stand popcorn and hot dogs.
Well,
I might check into that.
Yeah,
My
there you
birthday's
go.
coming up, Barry. You got any rent money?
There you go.
Oh, I reckon what one of them would cost.
I don't know.
It might take a couple months. I don't
There
know.
you go.
Anyway.
Darkle some.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. I think that sounds like a great day. So, do
Yeah,
the
we did.
kids
We had
do
a good time.
anything?
Mickey had to work, and Andy,
Oh.
they usually go over to Leah's mom
Sure. Yeah.
stuff. So we're not sure where Jordan was at, but he did get a hold of Mary and told her Happy Mother's Day, so that's a good thing.
Right. These kids, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
These kids.
They act like they don't know who their mom is.
I know. Well, again, I just think that it's hard to get that. And I'm not sure that they really fully appreciate dad either at this point until they become parents.
Mm-hmm.
When you become a parent, it's like the light is
Yeah.
switched on and you're like, oh, I get it now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
What they would have done for me. Now I get it. They would have died for me. The sacrifices they made for me. I just don't think they get that at that age.
I told mine, I said, the older that you get, the smarter that you're going to realize that I was.
That's right. Yeah, we're not nearly as dumb as you think we are right now.
I don't know. My kids think I'm pretty dumb.
Yep.
Oh, so do mine.
Yeah.
They won't. A few more
And
years. they'll be
I'm
fine.
beginning to think they may be right. I'm feeling pretty dumb, really.
You know, I tell my kids, I will fight. That's a hill I will die on with my boys. I'm like, no, you're not going to treat your dad and I like we're dumb or stupid or that you know more than us. I'm 60 years old and I've lived longer and I have more wisdom. I might not be smarter than you, but I have more wisdom than you because I've lived more life than you. So
Called experience.
no, that's
Exactly.
right. I mean, there is a
That's it.
difference between wisdom and knowledge. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
so, yeah. Anyway, yes,
Very much.
that's a hill I will
The
definitely
Indians
die on.
used to say, you can tell how smart a man is by how many winters he survived.
Yeah.
See, and that is so true.
That would be true in Indiana. I
Yes,
don't
it
know. In
would be.
Florida, it's such a big deal.
That is so true. Well, and so, and you were there, so I was really just humbled and honored and blessed. Tom Ellsworth, who is the interim pastor at the church I go to, Sherwood Oaks Smithville Christian Church, and he's been there for about a year for us now. We're still looking for a pastor, but we know it's in God's hands, and that God is just preparing whoever it is, to come. But Tom asked me if I would get up and answer a few questions on Mother's Day that he had prepared. So it was me and a younger mom that had younger kids than me. So that was really awesome to be included in that, and I really appreciated it. So my questions were, what is the greatest challenge of being a mother? To which I answered, I think that for me, when the boys were younger, the greatest challenge for me was fighting the urge to do everything for them. Sometimes it's easier to just do it yourself rather than take the time to teach them or to argue with them to do it. But when you do everything for them, you cripple them. The two tasks that kept me focused while raising my boys was first and foremost, and I'm not making this up just because I'm in front of a camera. You could ask both Garrett and Griffin, and they will tell you this is the truth, because I've told them this since they were young, old enough to understand. First and foremost, it was to guide them back to their Creator. My job is to get you back to heaven. And second, though, was to make sure that they would be responsible, productive adults so that they would be okay once Perry and I were gone, because as I just said, I'm 60 years old and I was 40 when I had Griffin. And so I knew that Perry and I would be gone most of their adult lives.
You and I are very similar in that regard.
Yeah.
We started a little bit later than our class.
Yes. I waited. We were married
Sure.
12 years before I had the boys. And so I knew, so that was kind of a driving force. Our age was a driving force for me to, one, foster a very strong relationship and bond between Garrett and Griffin as brothers, because I knew Perry and I would be gone most of their adult lives, and that was their only connection to us.
Right.
But also, I needed to make sure they were going to be okay when I'm 6 feet under. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the only way to do that is to teach them to be responsible and productive. And
because most people our age have grandchildren now.
no, right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Almost all
I'll
my
be lucky to
classmates
meet
do.
mine.
Same.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and that's okay, but that's
Yeah,
just the choice
exactly.
we made. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would have been a different parent younger, but it's possible. But I do believe I was a better parent older.
Yeah.
You know, if I had to choose. The other question was, what is your greatest joy? And for that answer was knowing that they are both believers and that they attend church with us every Sunday as adults. They could choose not to, or could choose to go to another church. And I don't take that for granted. I know what a blessing that is.
Yeah.
And then finally, what was my best advice to other mothers or mothers that were there? And I don't know if I've ever shared this story or not, but this is one of my favorite stories. So the best advice I ever got was from a teacher at Lighthouse Christian Academy. She was the first grade teacher of the boys. They both had her. Her name was Mrs. Stettenbenz. And she just one of
Easy
those.
for you to say.
Yeah, no, Mrs. S is what we called her, but
okay.
Mrs. Stettenbenz. She's one of those once in a lifetime teachers whose students just loved her, but they never wanted to disappoint her. But she was a disciplinarian, biblical disciplinarian, but she was also very wise and joyful. And so one day she and I were just talking in the hallway, and we were talking about my favorite verse, which is Proverbs 22:6, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he's old, he will not depart from it.
I thought it was spare the rod, spoil the child. I thought that was
No, that's my second favorite because I don't do that either.
my kid's least favorite.
I don't.
exactly.
Yeah, I don't. I haven't spared the rod, but but when we were talking about that, she said to me, and I just thought this was the most profound statement, and I've never forgotten it. She said, "You raise pigs, but you train thoroughbreds," and I thought that was just so smart. Like I said, she was very wise, and so that's always stayed with me ever since. And then finally, I added that, and we've had this actually conversation on the podcast about how I think we as parents need to stop listening to the world in regards to parenting. That the world wants us to have like a hands-off approach and just kind of turn the kids loose into the world and let the world raise them. And I just shared that I felt that was a lie, and that the world is going to tell you that you're a helicopter mom,
Right.
like they did me. And but that's okay. That I wear that title with pride because God entrusted me, to raise them, and I believe we'll all be held accountable for how we raised our children.
I do too. Yep.
So I mean, I think that we'll have some questions to answer. So, but it was just such an honor, because the greatest joy in my life, and I think the best thing I've ever had the experience of doing, is being a mom and raising Garrett and Griffin. So I was just very honored that he asked me to do that. So what would you say to maybe one or two? What's the biggest challenge you think, not as a mom, but as
My
as
biggest
a parent?
challenge is mom.
Getting addressed.
What do you feel like? What do you feel like the biggest challenge is as a parent?
I think maintaining your children's respect. I mean, at some point, it seems like when they become teenagers, they just lose respect for you for whatever reason that is. It may be because of the other friends are in their ear,
Right,
or like you said, the world's in their ear. But
I think
at
that's
some
rampant
point,
right now,
At some
for sure.
point, we lose that the respect from them that we feel like we deserve, and but a lot of it's just that fight for independence
Sure.
that they
Yeah.
have. So, but that's a challenge when they become teenagers and become more independent. That's it's hard, and there is a tough balance because you're not wanting to let go, and they're wanting to go further. So you got to find that balance, and it's not easy. And
Right.
I'm still going through it to today. You
Yeah.
know, it's we still go through arguments about how you can do and what you can't do and what you should be able to do and not be able to do. And so that's tough.
Yeah.
It is hard. Well, and I think it's one thing when they're under 18 and living in your home. It's
Right.
It's my way or the highway. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, it's not the highway because they can't leave.
Right.
But it's you're under my roof. But when they're adults and they're still living under your roof, then
Right.
you can say,
Right.
this is the rules. It's still our home. Respect us. And if you can't,
Yep.
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I've been really blessed. Both of the boys have been very respectful. And
Right.
I mean, we give them space. I'm still not up in their, I'm not being the mom every day. Now they're adults. We let them stay there. They're respectful. And it's a good thing. But you're kind of coming up on that too.
Yeah.
You've got adult kids now too.
Oh yeah, it's challenging. That's tough. I mean, because you're always trying to find that balance and of how much freedom you can give them, and how much they want to take, because they're going to push you as far as they
for
can
sure.
possibly push you. Obviously, so and we all did it. We all
For
did
sure.
it.
Yeah. Yep.
You always hear, well, you let him do that
Oh,
when he
yeah.
was that.
You're not being fair.
Exactly.
Well, and don't you?
Well, that's what I'm teaching you about life. Life's not fair, so suck it up, Buttercup.
There you go.
Or one of my absolute favorite statements ever is from Candace Owens. I don't know if you know who she is
Oh,
or
yeah.
not. A conservative talk show or
Yep.
pundit. She said one time she was doing this convention or whatever, and some woman came up and asked her a question about how life wasn't fair. It was, one of those
Right.
young kid entitlement things. And Candace Owen looked her right in the eye and said, "Life's hard." Life's hard. Get a helmet.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's absolutely my favorite statement ever, and it's so true. So
Right.
strap your helmet on. But you know what? Raising kids, I can't encourage you enough. Get married young, have all the kids that the Lord will bless you with, and or adopt. You know
don't need to
what?
tell my kids that.
No, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Go and repopulate that,
I
because
don't know.
that's what the Lord tells us. I think God wants us to have all the babies.
I'm not ready for grandchildren quite that quick.
Oh, I am. Right now. Both my kids know it. All right. Have a great rest of your Friday. If it's the Lord's will, we'll see you back in here next Friday from the General Store.